you doing?
Yo.
What's up? It is Caleb Townsman and Josh Townsman in the building. This time we're just doing a audio only with a little bit of video of showing the lines itself. But welcome back to Leather Helmet Phantom Podcast. We are jumping into week 1 of the NFL for Sportsbook. Thursday night football only. We're just going to run it through real fast, give you guys some pointers, give you guys some tips, and just give you guys insight of what we think is going to happen for this game. And hopefully we can bet correctly over 55%. And we'll be doing good. We'll be starting off right. But if not, we're going to be going the hole really, really early. So let's start it off, Josh. You want to run through your first one?
Yeah, so I'm really just trying to target Henderson as much as possible for the overs and look for Cam Akers unders. But as we went through into Cam Akers props, his rushing line was at 43.5, the same as Singletary, a much weaker rusher. So I was scared off from taking the under just because I think he'll still get opportunity. With all that said, I'm on Henderson's over 7.5 rush attempts. I just think Cam Akers is going to struggle right out the gate, just like he did in the playoffs. He's going to average under 3 yards per carry, and Henderson's going to split evenly with Cam. They have Cam at 12.5 rush attempts.
Yeah,
so if they split evenly, you should expect about like 10 each, a little bit over that. So I like that line a lot. It's actually plus odds at plus 106. I'm dropping 1 unit on it. What's you rolling with?
Well, just to piggyback yours, I am running on Cam Akers under 43.5. I'm going to take the risk because I actually have a future bet of taking his under in total. I think it's like 800 and something, 850 or something total yards for the season. We just read about it that, what was it, not even a week ago, that he couldn't even do running plays on practice, I believe it was. I don't know if it was the preseason, but I think it was just through practice drills he couldn't even do it. I understand it's a low line, but I believe they're going to want to ease him back as well as with Henderson, because I believe Henderson was having injury concerns on the off season as well, and I believe he was just coming back from injury from last year.
Yeah, he didn't play well.
Yeah, so they're both not very healthy, I guess you could say, coming into the preseason, and I think the game script's gonna lean towards Bills going up fast, or just Bills being very aggressive and just putting up points very fast. So I think it's going to be them throwing more than running. And with all that being said, I think Cam Akers is just going to not run as much as he usually does. But the bad part about this bet is all last playoffs, other than his first game back in the regular season, all last playoffs he went over this. So obviously it's a very low line, but it's more or less just taking the risk and betting on his injury being a bigger concern than what they're letting it off to be. And then on top of that, I think that the Bills defense is very, very, very good this year. And I think they will hold him easily under this line. I think it's going to be like under 30, but I'm not going to stretch it.
I like the Bills are overrated defense-wise. They're not bad at all.
I don't like their front as much as their secondary, but their secondary I think is nasty, to be honest, with all the names that they have. But that's my first pick. Let's jump on to the second pick.
I'm just doubling up on Henderson. No need to double explain it, but I got him for most rush yards. Just comparing him to some of the other running backs, I think he's better than Cam Akers at his current state. He's definitely better than Singletary. He was not a big long play rusher at all. I don't think either of the other Bills running backs are getting enough work between James Cook and Zach Moss. I just don't think they'll get enough work to reach that limit. They won't even hit like more than 6 rush attempts each. So I like this just because of the odds. We got plus 500 odds on the guy who's most likely to be either 1 or 2 for most rushing yards. So I got a half unit on that one.
I wonder what can you pull up to see if Josh Allen is on that most
Yeah,
rushing
he's
yards.
plus. He's ahead of him. He's at like plus 60.
Yeah, I think I was
Um,
like Josh Allen's line. I don't
plus
know why.
350.
Yeah, I could see honestly Josh Allen taking over that.
I mean,
But
he averages like what's Josh Allen's rushing
because Rams
attempts?
secondary is nasty, so
Or
and just defense in general.
so Josh Allen's rushing yards are 37.5. So yeah, he's expected more than Henderson, but he's also expected to run just as many attempts as Henderson is. But in my eyes, I see Henderson going well over the 7.5.
Yeah, it really just depends on his usage, like you're saying with 7.5. If he just gets more attempts, then I think he will easily be this
Yeah.
lead rusher.
If you really wanted, I feel like the odds aren't good enough for James Cook, but I feel like he's the one running back that could have a break off. Like if they give him enough work, let's say I don't know, 15 to 20% of the snaps, and he just breaks one off for 80 yards, I think it's potential that he can do that. But the odds aren't great at plus 1600 for a guy who's barely going to see the field as a rookie to
Yeah,
start off.
definitely not. Plus, I think the Bills will be in the lead more than not, so I don't think they're gonna have to. Wait, how that actually work out for him? Because yeah, never mind. Scratch that. But jumping on my second one, and I don't think I said it last time, but I'm just putting 1 unit on K makers under. It's at minus 114. All my bets are minus 114 and 1 unit, just to put it out there right now. My second bet is Matt Stafford over 270 and a half. I said put rushing yards here, but I meant passing yards. Don't know why I did that. Let me change that up real fast. But obviously, I'm not taking his over on 270 rushing, but actually passing yards. Like I said, minus 114, 1 unit. I think you will have to throw more to keep up with the Bills' offense, like I was just stating on my last bet. And I am banking on him throwing a pick because I had him last year in my fantasy, and I think he had more than like 12 picks or some shit like that. And he just threw so many picks. Also, he has this tendonitis thing that keeps lingering, and I think it's going to make him throw more, if that makes sense, because their running backs are hurt or at least have some kind of injury coming into it. They're not 100%. I think he's going to throw more, but not down the field. So with that being said, I think they're going to use a lot more Allen Robinson. I did not know Van Jefferson was going to be out, but it looks like he's probably going to be out. And I think they're just going to run a lot more schemes where they keep it closer to the line of scrimmage than far down the field.
Do you
Plus,
feel like with you taking the over, so if you look at the lines between comparing Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford, they're almost dead even in both yards and attempts. Do you feel like Stafford's actually going to not outperform, but just pretty much make more passes and throw more than
yeah,
Allen does?
I mean, we'll jump into it because I got another bet that kind of rolls into that. But basically, just looking to stay on this bet real fast because I'll talk more in that on my next bet. He only went under this last season, which is his first time with the Rams. I believe he had Cup last year and Woods for the first 4 or 5 games. I believe he had Woods,
Yeah.
and then he got hurt, something like that. But he only went under this 5 out of 17 games, so that's amazing odds of him actually going over this. So I think he's going to easily be able to go over this. And like Josh was going to state or ask, I guess you could say, I think Josh Allen's going to perform better than him, but Matt Stafford's going to have to throw more yards because I think he's going to throw a pick. I think he's not what everyone's looking at as far as like being the champ of 2021, 2022 NFL. But I just think he's going to throw a pick and then they're going to get behind. Or I truly think how the game's going to start off is Bills are going to get the ball, or if Bills don't get the ball right away, the Bills defense is going to stop them. They're going to play very, very aggressive and put a lot of pressure on him with that elbow, with not being a mobile quarterback, with his running backs not being 100%, and them just not being that good right now, to be honest. I think they're going to pass it a lot more, and I think he's going to try to get it out as fast as he can with how good the Buffalo Bills defense is.
I feel like though if like If the tendonitis is a real issue, though, I feel like they're going to protect Stafford more than they're going to protect the running backs' health. So they'll
Yeah, like
try to
it's
run
not,
more than they
which is
will.
what I was saying earlier. It's not that they're going to protect him. It's that they're not going to like how like we saw last year he would sling it down the field like
Yeah,
Jefferson
they
or
just won't
Cup.
throw
Like
bombs.
yeah, he just won't throw bombs. So he's going to throw a lot more
Do they have
closer
a
throws.
longest?
But with that state, I'm gonna jump on my
So
third
would you
bet.
take like, let's say, like looking at players' longest pass? How do you feel about under 36.5 for Matthew Stafford?
Um, the only reason I don't like it is because Cup can get that through Yak. Like he could throw a
But
15
you
to
did
20.
also say like the Bills secondary. I feel like they
Yeah,
might be able to contain them, and they're
but
going to focus on
but
him.
but the thing is like we just saw Cup coming off that Triple Crown season, and he did it to every single defense, no matter how long, no matter how much they paid attention to him and actually put like double teams on him. Like this dude just did it to everyone.
I
Um,
don't know. I
but
feel like I
I
kind of
still
like
feel,
that one.
yeah, I like the under there to be honest, just because of the tendonitis thing, and then also on top of that, I like the Bills secondary. I just truthfully didn't look into that, but I do like that if you guys want to jump on it. But that's not going to be part of my other bet. My other bet is Josh Allen under 274.5 passing yards. Um, his first 4 games last season, he went under this number, and he went under this 11 out of 17 games last year. That's a fucking shit ton. It's the same exact thing as Matt Stafford went over it, basically over that number that I said, 370.5, and then Josh Allen went under this 275 or 270.5, and then Josh Allen went under this 274.5, 11 out of 17 games. So it's just like obviously showing year after year that they're not going to be hitting that over. So I don't know what changed in the Bills offense for him to start just throwing this much, especially versus a Rams defense that we just saw them win the Super Bowl with. Like I can't see him going over something that he only did 6 out of 17 games. Like that's mind blowing to me, to be honest. So I took his under. Plus, I think the Bills are just going to have control of the game. So I think they're going to be running it more. And on top of that, Josh Allen is a mobile quarterback, so I think he can rush more than pass. Not rush more than pass, but I think he can rush more than like a Matt Stafford. So I'm going to take that at 1 unit as well.
So I got a little, I guess you'd say, contradicting, and I kind of view it not completely. Like I understand your points. I just feel like the tendonitis is going to be a bigger concern. So because of that, he's not because he won't have to do big plays, and because they're going to be trying to rush the ball more. If the Rams can slow down the pace of play and rely on their defense, I think it's going to be a lot slower a game than we expect. Like everyone's going to expect fireworks, and the first quarter might start off 0-0. And because of that, I just don't see them really rushing up and down the field as fast, which leads me to my side of actually having Josh Allen with the most passing yards at negative 120. Even if Stafford does have to pass more, I just think Josh Allen is going to have his way because of his receivers. He just has a lot more talent than Stafford does, at least currently. Stafford has Cup, which obviously is probably the top one, right above Diggs, or about the same level. But he's got Cup, and then he's got Robinson, who's aged. He's new to the program. Not to say Robinson won't do well, but just the fact that he has his 2 receivers and then Higbee, who's nothing special. So I see Josh Allen having Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Dawson Knox is better spreading down the field. I really like their rookie Shakir. I don't think they'll use him too much. They have Isaiah McKenzie, who's very explosive in the slot. But just having all those weapons and weaker running backs between Singletary and whatnot, who's going to get most of the work. I just think Allen's going to keep slinging it and trying to just prove why he should get MVP. Because I really feel like he wants the MVP title on top of the Super Bowl title, like just all at once. Um, so, yeah, I think we'll have a good start and a good year. So I have him at that negative 120. I mean, he is the number one QB in fantasy for a reason. Or drafted like that.
So to rebuttal your pick, and obviously to stand my ground on my pick, I agree with everything you're saying. It's just more or less that they have so much better weapons, I would say, and a better offense overall, I think, especially with the state they are at right now as far as Rams being hurt, with Jefferson out and his elbow being with the tendonitis. I think that they're going to control the game and they're going to be running the ball more or just not passing it as much and I guess just running it and then getting first downs. And I think they're going to be able to maintain the, what is it called? The clock, the
Possession.
Time of possession. And I don't think that he will need to throw it. Honestly, the only way I could see him getting the most passing yards is if he throws a bomb to Gabe Davis. If Gabe Davis doesn't get one of those bombs, I don't think it's going to happen because for him to get the most would mean that he would have to be in a shootout or be behind, and I can't see them being behind versus the Rams. And if you want to see it some other way, some other game script, like you said, it would be a very slow game because of the defenses, and then Josh Allen just wins it out by, I don't know, 10, 20 yards, and they both will be like under 250. That's the only way I can really see the game script running for him to.
I feel like
be
it could
that.
be close, but the fact that they have Josh Allen's most passing yard at like
minus 120,
decent negative 120, but they have them almost dead even yards, just kind of shows who at least Vegas is more confident in, reaching that most passing yards. So I don't know. I'll stick with Vegas for now and take the juice. One thing that is interesting, just talking specifically about passing and receiving yards, what do you think the chances are that Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs aren't like the top receiver for the day?
I was thinking about that when I was doing the what the hell is the app called?
I feel like it's a really good chance. Like not more than maybe like a 50-50 or like, I don't know, maybe like a 60-40, like a 40% chance it's not Diggs or Kupp because I think they're just going to get all the coverage.
Diggs or Kupp being the number one on the team or being number
one of the day. So like it'd be one of the wide receiver twos between.
No, I don't think there's a good chance. As far as being not the number one on their team, I think there's a very good chance. But as far as like the whole game itself, not a chance. I think one of them are gonna be the top dogs because one team's got to win, and if they're gonna win, it's gonna be through one of them. And if it's a shootout, then it's definitely gonna be shot out because of them, not because of anyone else. The only one I could see taking over is Gabe Davis. Because he can have those bombs and then maybe like 2 touchdowns or some shit like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's something.
But Robinson's not going to do that. Fucking a slot. McKenzie is not going to do that. And then other than that, I don't know any receivers other than tight ends that would catch the ball, but they're not going to do anything crazy. So honestly, no, I can't see. I see Kupp and Diggs being the one and the ones to their team, both through stats and through obviously being the number one guys. I think it's going to come down to QB play this game, though. I think QB play is going to determine who wins or loses this game. And I think that's why Bills are going to win, to be honest. Because Josh Allen is way more mobile and isn't dealing with this tendonitis arm that Matt Stafford is. Well, let me jump into my last bet, since that's the last one that you have was Josh Allen's most passing yards. Jump into my last bet. My last bet is Josh Allen. No, maybe. Is that it? No. Stafford over 36.5 pass attempts. I'm just going to keep basically double down, adding on to it. Minus 114, 1 unit. Honestly, like I already pointed out this game script, I just see him passing the ball more closer to the line of scrimmage than these deep balls because his elbow. So with that being said, I think he's going to pass more because he's going to have to get scores because I think the Bills are going to be in the lead and I think the Bills offense is better. So since he's going to have to actually score more than he would like to not to win the game, I think he's going to have to pass the ball a lot more, and I don't think he's going to be able to just chuck it down the field and bomb it. So 36.5, it's very high up there, to be honest, but I think he can do it. He hit this over 9 out of 17 games last year, so obviously it's just a little bit above 50%, but obviously it's at the point perfectly kind of right at the number that it should be at for Vegas to win. So it's just more or less what side would you like to pick, and I am going to take the over since I'm going to take his over on passing yards. I might as well just take his over on pass attempts. There is a chance that he could somehow go over his passing yards, but then not go over his pass attempts. But to be honest, I feel like it would be vice versa. I think his pass attempts would go over and his passing yards would go under due to his elbow. So I'm just going to run with that injury basically the whole time, and then his running backs being hurt and then wanting to ease them into their injuries rather than just come balls to the walls and just start running that ball over and over and over and over. But let's jump right into our parlays. I have 2. Mine are long shots. Josh's, I don't really know if they're long shots, but you can jump over your parlay.
Yeah, so I'll start off with this one I've been playing with right here. So I got a long shot of Buffalo Bills, -13.5. And then I have under 52.5 total points. And then I have Darrell Henderson anytime touchdown score. So kind of more of game script and then just betting on Henderson to get that goal line opportunity and to take advantage of it. So as long as Darrell gets his touchdown, I think there's a good chance this does hit because I do see the Bills pulling away with this one and it being not as exciting as people think it was going to be as far as scoring. So, I mean, at plus 7,410 odds on a 3-leg same game parlay, you're probably not going to get much better odds than that on something that is very reasonably could happen. It's not like I'm expecting 100 yards from Henderson or really 100 yards from anybody or just something like that's hard to hit on any NFL game basics. This is pretty normal. I think the hardest thing would probably be the spread to be 2 touchdowns, but I feel like they're easily going to win by 10. So I like
That's
the odds.
That's a bold ass fucking statement, dude.
I mean, it's a long shot, but I still like it a lot.
Honestly, this backs up every single one of my bets, so I'm all for it, to be honest.
But I'm gonna drop half a unit on it. So that's my long shot, and then my short safe one, I'm dropping 2 units on my safe one, which is Robinson, 40-plus receiving yards with Van Jefferson out. I mean, there's just not much more to pass to except Higbee. Yeah, that's all I really. And I think Robinson is going to get good looks. He's going to be used appropriately down the sideline. Just a quick couple go routes. Use his size to just easily pull the ball down. Stafford's still going to be accurate, even though he's injured. He's just not going to be able to throw as well in a deep ball, which I don't think Robinson's going to be going crazy out for 60 yards or anything. So 40 yards is reasonable. Allen, 225-plus pass yards. That's about as cakewalk as you get for Josh Allen passing prop. And then I got Bills plus 7.5, so they would have to lose by more than a touchdown, which I just cannot see happening. So at -110 odds, I'm going to put 2 units on that. So
once again, I'm going to say I love it, but all last season you just did these like same game parlays for this like even money line basic or even money, and for
honestly,
whatever reason you got screwed week after week after week.
I mean, just because you get screwed though in bets doesn't mean you should stray away from it. Because like, let's say I get my Allen, I get my Bills, the easy ones, and Robinson drops 39. Like, yeah, it sucks that I was that close and I should have won it. But just knowing that for the most part you projected it correctly, you should just keep betting those types of bets because more often than not, if you're that close, you're going to get the wins.
All right. Well, to jump into my long shot parlays, I don't really have a parlay that is like even money or even close to it. My long shot parlays are 0.5 units at plus 6,908 odds. The first leg 0.5. The first leg is Stafford over 270.5 passing yards. Obviously, it's one of my bets. And then it's kind of the whole scheme of this thing is Allen under 74.5 passing yards. Akers under 43.5 rushing yards. That's my first three bets. And then Singletary under 43.5 rushing yards. Again, I am taking Diggs at the next leg. Diggs at 50-plus receiving yards. I think he should easily get that.
It's a lot of legs rolling up here.
Yeah, and then the last leg is Cup 70-plus receiving yards. This is basically all of how I think the game script is going to go. If it doesn't go that way, then it's probably not going to work out. If it goes that way, then it's probably going to be close. And I think the Bills are just going to have control of the game. I think they're going to be ahead. I don't think Allen's going to have to throw that much. I think he's going to have under. I think Stafford's going to have to throw more, which means Cups can definitely get his 70-plus. But I also think Diggs can easily get 50-plus receiving yards because it's really nothing, especially if they go up fast and they start with him. And then it's really just taking their running backs being complete trash and ass. Akers under 43.5 and Singletary under 43.5. I don't think either one of them should really be like the most used running back for this game, at least. I think it should be Zach Moss, and I think it should be Henderson, to be completely honest. But obviously Singletary's going to get his work, so I think that's going to be the most iffy part of the leg. But all the other ones I really like. So, like I said, you put that all together, it's 6,908 plus odds. So I'm going to take that at a half a unit. And then my second long shot of the day. Oh, shit. Never mind. That wasn't my last leg. This is my last leg. All of that needs to happen.
Oh, my gosh.
And then Gabe Davis, anytime touchdown score. Now, like Josh has talked about, it's really just going to
It's
be
a fucking lot, bro.
Yeah, it is.
And you only got plus 6,000?
I guess so. Almost 7,000, basically. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Sounds like you're getting robbed.
7.
You're just giving them that money.
7 legs. And the Gabe Davis one is obviously going to be a toughy one, too. It just comes down to who's getting the touchdown. If not, I really wouldn't have got shit odds if I didn't put an anytime touchdown score. And I was debating who I should put there, and I just came up with Gabe Davis. I mean, I feel like Diggs is like the obvious one, but I feel like he's going to get double teamed. So I just passed him in. I feel like Gabe Davis can get one slung down the field to him and easily just pull it in for a touchdown like he's done in previous games. But my last long shot parlay is 1 unit plus 3,403 odds. So 3,400 is Josh Allen, first time touchdown scorer, and then Allen Robinson, anytime touchdown scorer.
I like that one.
So
Simple.
yeah, like I said, I think not Diggs. I think Bills are going to start off hot, and I could easily see Josh Allen being like, screw this, I'm just going to take it in, start the season off right, feeling good, run it in, get the touchdown, go up really fast, and then Allen Robinson and Kupp are really the only receivers that Matt Stafford has to work with. I think Kupp's going to get double teamed, so let's just put on Allen Robinson to get a touchdown score. It's either him or Higbee, so whatever you feel more comfortable with. Maybe if you want to join with me, just slot that in. But I like Josh Allen, first-time touchdown score, plus 3,400. And that's pretty much it. You got anything else?
No, I was just running through some of my multiple sports books, seeing there's good promos out there. Looks like DraftKings got a get paid if your team leads by 7+ points at any time. So it seems like clearly that
If they lead by what?
Bills. They got to lead by a touchdown at any time. And I'll read the details, but
It's pretty good.
Place a pregame, so you got to do a money line bet. And if your team leads by a touchdown at any time in the game, you win your bet.
Interesting.
So max wager $100. So
And it's 100.
I think we're
Sheesh.
both on Bills. So Bills money line would be negative 130. So a little bit of juice, but I feel like even if for some reason the Bills slip up and let a touchdown to the Rams like the first one, they still have a chance of taking the lead back even before like the end of the fourth quarter.
I would say
Or the
just in
end of the
general.
third.
Like, I think they could take the lead whenever they want
By
to.
7 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're ever going to let it out of reach, to be honest. Like, I don't think they'll be the ones that let it go past 7.
So if you have that DraftKings, I would suggest playing that. At least dropping like 2 units on it. Because it's a very safe bet. You can even bump it up. Well, screw it. I'll put 3 units on it. I don't give a shit. Might as well cash out first game of the year, You cash out or go home.
All right, well, that's it for today. We just want to give you guys the first game of the NFL 2022-2023 season. Let's hope it's a good year. Let's hope I don't lose as much as I did in the beginning of last year because that was really bad.
You were like negative 30, 40.
Yeah, and then I bounced back, though.
Yeah,
So
you ended up higher.
I'm going to start off hot this year. We're going to see what's up.
It's these games that get me. The fucking ones that you're like all hype about, like the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to bet the world. And then you're like, wow, I think I made too many bets.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll keep it real, and we'll always give you guys the update and the feedback of what we went each week. Obviously, we're just doing Thursday because we just want to get some out so you guys could bet along with us or just call us fucking retarded, whatever you want to do. But if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. If you are subscribed, please unsubscribe and resubscribe. That would be great for our channel. And all I really care about is if you share. I just care if you share. Sharing is caring. I hope you guys have a great year, fantasy or just betting in general. And we will catch you guys next week. Peace.